How are you? I'm here to talk about the Steve Harvey Show, child. We're not talking about the Steve Harvey morning show, and we're not talking about Steve Harvey, and we're not talking about Steve, but we're not talking about Bullethead either. We're talking about the Steve Harvey Show, which is an American sitcom that aired on the WB from August 25th in 1996, to February 2002. It was created by Winifred Harvey. Mhm. Sometimes credited as Winifred Harvey Stallworth, and directed by Stan Lathan, who was Sanaa Lathan's daddy. Let me. Here he is, Sanaa's very own father, Stan. I didn't even know he had a Wikipedia page. I need to go look at it because he has done some good things. He has done a lot of things. Anyway, child, let's look at the synopsis, shall we? Steve Hightower, played by Steve Harvey, is a 1970s funk legend who is now, legend is a lot. Legend is giving him a lot. Who is now a music teacher / vice principal at the Booker T. Washington High School on Chicago's West Side. I too went to a school called Booker T. Washington, but it was a elementary. And elementary. Budget cutbacks meant Steve had to also teach drama, art, and much to his surprise. I can't read. It don't matter. Cedric Sadie Robinson, played by Cedric the Entertainer, who is still holding up. He looks good. This Steve, by the way, is a coach at the high school and Steve's longtime best friend. The principal of Booker T. Washington Booker T. Washington High is Steve's former classmate Piggy. Regina Greer, played by Wendy Raquel herself, who, whenever you hear me cackle, I want you to see her face. And whenever you see her face, I want you to hear me cackle. Because she just looks like she's laughing all the time. Honey, laughing all the way. Whom Steve affectionately calls Piggy because she was overweight in childhood, which is that's not cute. Steve forms a strong bond with two of his students, Merlin Santana, Romeo Santana, who, my God, today was so fine. Not they don't have his picture, child. You mean to tell me, girl, I hate when I do this because I gotta wait for it to go away. You mean to tell me y'all don't have a picture of Stanley? That's all right. We're going to Google. Don't even worry about it. Stanley, honey. Oh, Merlin Santana, fine behind. Fine. Look at the material. Look at those arms. Hold on. Let me get me out the way. Look. Child. Look. Could have been my baby daddy. Sure could have. Look. Just beautiful, child. Just beautiful. Oh, not this risque photo, child. Not this risque one. All right. Look at Romeo. Child, my goodness today. My goodness. Back to the Steve Harvey Show anyway. And he was a stylish, self-absorbed ladies' man, as he should have been. And the equally vacuous Stanley Kuznaki, nicknamed Bullethead, played by this white man. We don't even have to look him up. He was a white boy. Acting as their mentor and gradually accepts them as friends. I hate when I do this. I was just trying to exit. Why would you do this? See there? Jesus, we're going to leave it. We're just going to leave it. In season 2, the show introduced a new character, a secretary named Lavita Jenkins, child, Lovey, played by Tara J. Vaughn, the icon herself, the moment, who for some reason was in one episode of Greenleaf. She picked up the phone and then she hung it up and then she was gone. And I was like, I thought we was going to get more of her, but I guess not. A woman who is fundamentally in the good mood, just the good mood, honey, the one. But nonetheless considerably unrefined in terms of disposition, which, like, let Black women just be Black women in the in the office place. Like, let Lavita Alizé Jenkins be Lavita Alizé Jenkins without having to try to conform to whiteness at this Black high school. Honey, they tried to make her play her and let her be ghetto child. Cedric and Lavita began dating I mean, I'm saying that she should have been ghetto without them making that the joke. Cedric and Lavita began dating and eventually married and gave birth to a child. It's the eventually married, which is in the present tense, and then and gave birth to a child, which is in the past tense. They began dating, that's in the present, and eventually married, which is okay, it was right. That's the future actually, and gave birth to a child, which is the past. Who wrote this? The show also featured a succession of young actresses who served as female foils to Romeo and Bullethead. The longest lasting of these was Lori Beth Denberg, who was Lydia Goodman, honey. Lydia Goodman. You know what? I've always wondered, because you've got Lydia Goodman. And then many years later on Glee, you had Rachel Barbara Berry. And they really were the same character. Did Ryan Murphy rip off Winifred Harvey? I'd like to know. But this is Lori Beth. You remember her from All That? You remember? She was the overachieving socially inept. My God, today. Lydia Goodman. Rapper, the Lady of Rage, honey, was Corletta. And they tried to play her because she was big. Not fat even, just big. Like, let's pull her up. Honey, she rock rough and tough with her Afro puffs. Rock on with your bad self. She's so pretty. Look at the material. But this is kind of what she was giving on Steve Harvey. Lord, she was sick. Lord, what happened to Lady? This ain't about her. I was finna click the link, but we're not here for her. We love her though. We love Lady of Rage. Baby D. Whatever. I'm not even gonna exit. Whatever. Coretta the Oxcox, which a physically massive, brutish teenage girl in romantic pursuit of Romeo. I don't know. The more I think about the show, it's like the portrayal of Black woman. You got the Ox, you got Piggy, and then you got Lavita Alizé, who they tried to play for being ghetto. It ain't for me. Coretta would call Bullethead a broke Brad Pitt. Let's see what picture I wonder if they got one of his 90s pictures as his cover photo. Nope. It's okay. He'll do. Whenever he annoyed her, but would usually refer to Lydia as Linda, Lisa, or Lucy, correctly calling her Lydia only once. Steve was a part of a fictional, music group called Steve Hightower and the High Tops, who would temporarily reunite to perform on occasion. The members consisted of Steve, T-Bone, played by T.K. Carter, child. I don't know why I thought it was going to be a picture there. Later, by Dawn, D.C. Curry, who was this man here. Pretty Tony, played by the. Oh no, they need to update his picture with how he looking today, because this ain't it. Mr. Big, no ma'am. Of the Isley Brothers, and Clyde, played by Jonathan Slocum. Two of their signature songs performed several times on the show were When the Funk, because when the funk hits the fan, honey. And later on, Harvey, my God, his eponymous talk show, which was this show that they canceled, honey, and put Kelly Clarkson in his place. And Bring Me Off a Piece. I sing that around the house. Bring me off a piece of that funk. Come and get your chocolate hunk. Oh, yes. Though Cedric was not an original member of the group, he usually sang with them on several events. Minor recurring characters throughout the series included Cedric's grandmother, named Grandma Puddin', played by Cedric, because if it's a 90s, early 2000 television show, you got to have a man in a dress. You have to. There's no way we can get around it. Regina's boyfriend, former NFL star Warrington Steele, played by Dorian Wilson. who was Professor Ogilvy, we know. Kenan Thompson and let's look at Kenan's picture, honey. He he just has the same face. Oh, he looked just like he did when he was like 14. And Cal Mitchell, who still looks the same, but he got a little more grown man on him. Appeared in several episodes as Junior and Vincent, which all that cast member Lori Beth Denberg starred in. Yeah. Wayne Wilderson played Byron. We don't see. Now he's an American actor who had guest spots on many successful television programs, child. A bougie type of character who was a television producer and a member of the Onyx Club, a professional men's group that Steve and Cedric tried to join. Dwayne Attaway played Jordan Maddox, a professional basketball player who was briefly married to Regina before dying during their honeymoon. The drama. Ernest Lee Thomas, who is this man who has been funny for all eternity, made a few appearances as the Reverend, who eulogized Maddox and who married Cedric and Lavita. We love the Reverend. Here are the episodes. You may pause and read at your own leisure. And here's the cast, which I already told you about, so you can pause and read at your own leisure whenever you get the time, because I already told you all these names, except for R.N.A. Johnson, Aisha, and Nefetta Perry as Sarah, and Tracy Villa as Sophia. But other than that, I told you all the names. Here are the reoccurrings. I've told you the majority, if not all of them. I don't think I said Sam Levine. But yeah, I told you all the rest of them. So you can pause and read it if you want to at your own leisure. Special guest appearances, honey. It's been a lot of them. Marissa Jared Winkle, who is this white lady right here from Hairspray, apparently. Tina Marie, who was out on a limb, God rest her soul. Out on a limb. Oh, yes. Honey, who sang my hit song when I was a child. I love the song Squibbins. And I asked my mama, can you play the song Squibbins? And she didn't know what I was talking about, but it was Square Biz by Tina Marie. Megan Good, who apparently is getting a divorce. Oh, this is a beautiful picture. She's gorgeous. Jerry Springer, who is a judge. Little Bow Wow. You just don't know the way you move so fast across the floor. I mean, what's my problem? I mean, you run through my mind like all the time to the point that I just want to take you home. And do what? You're 11. Take you home and do. And in the video, it was like grown women. We need to dissect. That's what's wrong with him. Jermaine Dupri, Janet Jackson's weird-looking ex-boyfriend of many years. Teddy Riley, honey. Teddy himself, Edward Theodore. I didn't know it was an Edward there, but here he is. Snoop, SNOOPDOGG, who is here with Beyonce on his glasses. Puffy. Here he is. Up Tootie herself, child, Kim Fields. Ooh. Okay. Isabel George. Oh, I love me some Isabel Sanford. I'm gonna have to print out a picture and put it up in here. Because why don't I have a picture of Isabel Sanford hanging in my home? Judge Greg Mathis, who knows a crackhead when he see one. Period. Antonio Vargas, him right here, who was Huggy Bear child in Starsky and Hutch. Is he living? That's fine. Ooh, this is on my nerves. On my nerves. I feel like I can move this bar though. Can I move you? Oh, look at God. Okay, Antonio Vargas, who is still living. He is 75. There he is. He'll be 76 in August. Busta Rhymes, honey, himself. Ooh, excuse me. Because he's feeling like you're running and feeling like you got to get away, but I know that I don't and I won't ever stop because you're not going to run every day. Buster, child. Brian McKnight, who decided to put out that song telling you how your vagina works, which was very odd. And we ain't heard nothing else since, aside from the fact that he take care of his sons. Nikki Cox, who is this lady right here that I don't know. but she's an American actress and comedy writer known mostly for her roles on the television series Unhappily Ever After, Las Vegas, The Norm Show, and Nikki. Boris Kojo with that bald head, child, that he got covered up in this picture. That's him. He's still fine. Bumper Robinson, child. They don't have a picture, but we all know what Bumper look like. Light-skinned. Adrian Zmed, who is this white man who apparently was in Grease too, and TJ Hooker. And Jennifer Lyons, who don't have a Wikipedia, and I can't call up who she was. I recognize the name, I think. Let's find out since we're here. Oh, no, I don't know this lady. I do not know this white lady. Do I? She was in that 70s show that I did not really watch. I didn't watch it much. Anyway, she was there. And Janae Dubois got rest her soul. Willona. They had some running gags, child. Lavita had several relatives named after products or items. Her brother's name was Duracell. She had cousins Kinko, Bruschetta, Clinique, and Kamei because they had to make fun of Blackness. Steve also made several references to his popular hotspot, the Nasty Kitty, and his favorite working girl, Bubblicious, even though the strip club is never seen, and we thank God for it. Steve's topical humor of popular culture was also a reoccurring gag. One example of these puns: when I see that woman, I'm like Shaq doing Shakespeare. I just don't know how to act. Another reoccurring gag on the show was, despite being a one-time famous musician in the universe of the show, Steve was always mistaken for being other famous musicians. For example, in the episode guest starring Jerry Springer, he refers to him as that cop from The Village People, honey. Young man. Do. Not the cop. That's the cop. Which one the cop? I guess that's the cop. I mean, I see it in the mustache. That might be Steve Harvey. How are we supposed to know? Another episode features singer Out on a Limb. Yes. Who, when Steve went to introduce himself to see if she remembered him, she answers, "Oh yes, Lionel, how are you? Give my best to the rest of the Commodores," which, I mean, the mustache, what can you do? Occasional gags reference Bullet Head's trailer park lifestyle because they had to make fun of poor people, be it black or white. And Romeo's full name, he has used his full name, Romeo Miguel Jesus Pele Roja. Oh my God, let's start over. Romeo Miguel Jesus Pele Roja Alejandro Santana. My God, today. That's like Esteban Julio Ricardes, blah, 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 from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. That's probably where they got it from, honey. If y'all heard me scratching my head, listen. In one episode, he wrote all of his names on paper, but not prepared his assignment. He wrote all of his names on paper, but not prepared his assignment, resulting in an F. So he just wrote his name and not the assignment. I don't remember. Lydia almost always displayed an obsession, my God, for her classmate and alleged lover, honey. She always had her a lover, Arthur Rabinowitz, who Steve referred to as that polite Jewish boy that does his taxes, which of course we had to make a joke about Jewish people and money because it's the 90s and why not? And for her favorite entertainer, Barbara Streisand, which again leads me to believe that Ryan Murphy had done watch the Steve Harvey show and say, I'm creating another Lydia Goodman in Rachel Barber Berry. However, she had total disdain for classmates Heather the cheerleader and Jennifer the cheerleader. Ooh. Okay, let's look at Barb. There she is. Oh, my man, I love him so. He'll never know. All my life is just a spare, but I don't care. This is when it gets me. When he takes me in his arms, the world is bright. All right. I love me some Barbara. What's the difference if I say I'll go away? I've been recording for 40 minutes, child. Or did I not stop the other the other video? Who knows, child? Who knows? Anyway, one other gag is that the teachers was playing to a student amongst themselves because of condition or appearance. Helmet boy for wearing a special helmet in gym class. Old natural girl for having a strong body odor. And 5 started for the one kid who kept setting items on fire, and they could have called the police because wow. Here's the seasonal ratings in the United States. Never did get up to 100. God bless it. Anyway, it was on the WB. The series end is this, and you can read it. I'm not. You can pause it, child. And here's the syndication that you can also pause and read when you get the time. And here's a home media that you can also read when you get the time. And here are the awards and nominations. Nominated mostly, won a couple times. I don't know. It might be equal wins and nominations. You can read it on your own time. Oh yeah. One thing about Sarah J. Vaughan, she gonna win them categories. And that's the show, child. Stop this share. Wonderful to have you on TV Thursday. Do return next week when we talk about a good one, honey. Ambitions. And yeah, I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.